Hi everyone, welcome back to Catalyzing Clarity with Dr. Tanya. We were on holiday for a little while, so I did not post a video, but I wanted to share this story about our dog Yoda with you because it taught me a few lessons that I think would be applicable to everyone, whether or not you have a pet. But I do think that our furry friends can often teach us a lot about life if we pay attention. So for those of you who don't know Yoda, he is a miniature schnauzer. So I'll try to post a picture of him in the comments, or if I figure out how to add it to this video, I will. But if not, you can Google miniature schnauzer. They're super cute. They have beards, so they look kind of like old men even when they're young. Although now Yoda is an old man or a dog. We think he's almost 14 years old. And he spends most of his time sleeping now. Before he was super active, but now he's older. You know, he's recovered from melanoma and kidney problems and stuff. So he still gets around, but he sleeps a lot and his eyesight isn't so good. You know, he doesn't hear as well anymore. Before, if he would hear the door open, or he would be really good at hearing the door opening or the gate opening and, you know, being at the door ready to greet us. But now he doesn't hear so well anymore. So often he's not there at the door, you know, when we come in after work or picking up the kids from school. But usually he will see us, you know, since a bunch of us are coming in at the same time, making noise, and then he'll run up, wag his tail, be happy. So 2 weeks ago, we got home and, you know, we're unpacking the car. So 2 kids, we have all their stuff and also our stuff from like work, etc. So I think we had also maybe like stopped to get groceries. So we're unpacking the car. And oh, this is an important part of the story is we rent a house actually in Bangkok, which is really like urban jungle-ish. You know, there's tons of apartments, buildings, etc. And there's like not so much open space, especially for dogs. And so we really try to look for a house in a neighborhood with like a garden or, you know, a small yard that is gated off from the main road. So Yoda could have a place, you know, to go outside and just run around. So we had gotten home. We get water delivered, so I think the gate was open. Chris was like my husband was getting the big water bottles in, since water isn't potable here, like the tap water, you need to buy drinking water. And we're all inside. Kids are like playing Lego or doing something. I'm talking to them about school. And I think Chris maybe was in the kitchen, you know, unloading the groceries or getting dinner ready. And after a while goes by, I was like, where's Yoda? And Chris was like, oh, maybe he's like sleeping upstairs, or we thought that he might be with our nanny, who was like also helping to prepare food for dinner. So then we started looking around for him, and then he wasn't there. Chris looked upstairs, he wasn't there. And then at this point, we're like all freaked out. We're like in the yard, and our nanny Ploy was like, maybe he, you know, was out in the garden, like he was just here. So he can't be like very far. So we all freaked out looking like all around the neighborhood for him. So we live like pretty far down a road. It's not a huge road, so there's not a ton of traffic, but there is traffic of, you know, people going in and out, coming back from work, of their houses. And then there are some stray dogs as well, or, you know, some dogs that just run around. So which Yoda has been bitten by a stray dog before. So we were like a little bit worried about that. So all 3 of us are like combing the neighborhood, asking people if they've seen Yoda, searching for him. And Luckily, he was found. Our nanny found him. He was actually frolicking around a construction site with a new girlfriend dog who is a puppy. She must be like less than a year old, and she is like a stray dog, but these construction workers at this construction site were taking care of her, and then she was playing there or just like living there during the day and night. And Ploy told us that when she went to get him, so he was pretty far, he was almost like a kilometer away from our house. She was like trying to call to him, and he like looked at her and wagged his tail and then was like, no, come play at this construction site with me. But he was like completely filthy. And so the construction workers also thought that he might be a stray dog because they hadn't seen him before. And they were gonna give him a bath because they were about to give the girl dog a bath as well, and said, oh, we just saw them playing together. We hadn't seen him before, and he's like completely covered in like mud. And Ploy was like, no, he's our dog. You know, he has owners and stuff. So they were like, okay, well, he seemed to have a lot of fun playing with, you know, our dog. So she carried him home. You know, we had to like totally give him a bath immediately. He was not guilty at all for running away. And actually, he was super happy. He like had a spring to his step. You know, he wanted to play with us. He was just like throwing his old dog toys like all over the place. And if you have a dog, you know, he doesn't have that many teeth left, so he's not like biting like crazy, but he was throwing like his ball and just being really happy. And then since that time, he's also like gone to the gate and looked outside because she sometimes runs by or tries to invite him to play. So sometimes our nanny sends us pictures of when she's like going in and out of the house, or, you know, just taking care of things because she sees that that girl dog is there. So all's well that ends well. You know, we're happy that Yoda didn't get hit by a car or taken, you know, by another family, because, you know, people might not think that he has a family, even though he does have a collar and is microchipped. That sometimes is like not so common in Thailand. Also, his little collar thing is in English, so if people didn't read English, they wouldn't know that he's our dog. In any case, the two lessons that I wanted to share from this story was, number one, trust your intuition. So I felt that something was wrong, like that Yoda, even though he sleeps all the time and, you know, sometimes he's not going to be at the door, I had a feeling that like he wasn't there, or it was really weird that I hadn't seen him, you know, since we were home. And so then I was, you know, kind of half looking for him, but being like, he can't be anywhere. But then we realized that he likely ran out, or, you know, maybe he was out in the garden. We didn't see him. And when we opened the door to drive in, or even like to get the water in, that the door was open maybe for a little longer than we had anticipated, and that he just ran out during that time. And then we had shut the door and he was already gone. So, and number two is a lesson from Yoda himself. You know, he rarely gets to go out. We do walk him, you know, on his leash sometimes out in the neighborhood, but most of the time he's in the house or inside the garden, just because, like I've discussed, you know, there's some not so nice stray dogs, and also just cars coming, like, you know, he could easily get hit by a car. But when the gate opened and we weren't paying attention, he had an opportunity and he took it. So sometimes when opportunity knocks, you just have to make a decision and not really hesitate if that's what you want to do. And so, you know, obviously he doesn't have the power of like forethought, or to think like, what would happen if I was lost and like couldn't find my family again. But, you know, he just basically sees the opportunity, saw that the door was open, ran out the door, and then just had a really good time, like rolling in mud and maybe some cement as mixture and making a new friend. So sometimes I think that we all need to do that, you know, or just to be open to the possibility of when opportunity knocks, to just consider it and decide whether or not we want to walk through that open door or not. So if you like this video, I would so appreciate it if you liked and or subscribed. I will share more stories very soon. Thank you.